Hello and welcome to today's presentation, Save Your Cache with HP Flash. My name is Pat Devine. I'm going to be the moderator for today's presentation. Today's presentation is being brought to you by HP and Intel. Before we begin today's presentation, please note that the slides for this presentation will be pushed to your screen automatically, and all audio will be streamed to you through your computer. If you have any questions today, you can enter them by clicking on the Questions tab and click Submit Question. With that said, it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's presentation. Joining us for today is Paul Haverfield, Principal Technologist, HP Storage, APJ. Paul, welcome and thank you for joining us today. The floor is yours. You can take it away.
Great. Thank you, Patrick. It's great to be here today. And first of all, just thank you everybody listening for your time and interest in this topic. And we'll get straight into it now. So when I look into the storage industry and talking to a lot of customers, C-level people, technologists in the industry, they ask me, what's happening, what's going on, Paul, within the storage industry? What are the really big things that are dominating the impact of storage design? And these three pictures really sum it up. We see a lot of action in the flash industry with flash technology and the changes that flash are causing and impacting on storage architectures. In the software-defined area, there's a lot of suspense, which, as you see here, you've got a guy hanging from the cliff, and a lot of the industry is just waiting to see what happens with software-defined storage and really wait to see what impact it really has on the way customers buy solutions. And then with object storage, object is slowly taking over from file storage, from our traditional NAS storage, and it's going to have a lot of high drama in the way that it disrupts the traditional NAS players, the traditional file industry. But really, what we're here today to talk about is the flash storage industry. And we're going to focus today on flash storage for the next few minutes. And in my 30-year career in the storage industry, I really can think of no other new technology that's had so much impact on storage as flash. It's having the biggest change, the biggest impact, as I've said, on our architectures. It's really transforming many businesses in the way that they can deliver speed-sensitive applications to their customers and to the internet community out there. And it's definitely receiving the majority, if not the highest amount of R&D investment within the industry. And yet at the same time, there's very few truly optimized architectures in the industry today for flash storage. We see a lot of interest in the startup companies and the startup businesses. As I said, they receive a lot of investment capital, a lot of R&D funding. But in actual fact, there's very few truly optimized flash architectures available. So we're going to focus today for the next few minutes on solid state or flash storage. And we're going to see what's happening and what's new, what's the hottest announcements in this particular industry. So when we look at flash in HP, it really is, I liken it to what I describe here as a double-edged sword. It has a huge amount of benefit in how it can deliver radical performance impact and radical performance transformation to applications and businesses and hence through to their end-user customers. But it comes at a great cost in terms of the impact it has on storage architectures. For years and years and years, in fact forever, the bottleneck for storage performance has always been the spinning hard disk. It's been that individual spinning disk drive that has dominated the performance equation and the performance output of storage arrays. Well, flash totally breaks that paradigm. Flash has totally moved the bottleneck from that spinning disk drive into the storage controller and into the storage controller cache and firmware management subsystem. So it puts a lot of emphasis on the design and the architecture of the controller, the CPU, cache, memory, firmware complex in terms of the actual performance and efficiency you get. And then we've needed, for flash to be affordable, we've really needed a whole lot of efficiency type algorithms like thin provisioning, deduplication, and efficiencies around media wear handling so we don't wear out these flash devices sooner than what we would expect. And what we've all been wondering within the industry, a lot of customers have been asking us and we've been asking the industry, what is the real tipping point for mainstream all-flash? So when do we expect all-flash storage will really become the dominant majority sort of shipping device, shipping architectures in the industry? And we've been, wondering, is it going to be the cost of the flash storage, the cost per gigabyte of flash storage? Are we going to have high-end arrays with auto-tiering become the dominant, platform in the industry? This is where we tier the storage between flash, between high-performance spinning and slow-performance spinning. Or is it going to be when Tier 1 features finally come to the, the new startup flash arrays which don't have these features today? So we've been wondering, what really will create the tipping point for mainstream enterprise all-flash? And if we just quickly recap, what's happened in the history of flash, typically what we started with is individual applications, like just one high-performance application. It might be an SAP, it might be an Oracle application. We've moved those particular applications to a tiering array where we've done sublun tiering between the volumes on that application to put the highly accessed, highly frequently accessed blocks onto solid state, and then the less frequently accessed blocks onto spinning media. And then we moved and evolved into, putting an entire application onto an all-flash array, because sublun tiering didn't really solve the performance problem, because sublun tiering required very high predictability, very high consistency in the frequency of access of that working set of the optimized storage. So then we moved to putting an application onto a storage array by itself and having to choose the applications. But then we found, that changes month by month, week by week. So now what we're actually proposing and what HP's announcing is that we believe the time is ripe, the time is now to place all of your mission-critical applications, all of your performance-sensitive applications onto a Tier 1 all-flash based storage array. But how is this going to be possible? Like, everybody's probably thinking, no, Paul, flash is too expensive to do that. I can't possibly afford. So let's just have a look at the maths here, and let's have a look at what's really doable and what's capable. So 12 months ago, we were shipping flash storage at approximately $13 a gigabyte. And in just 12 months' time, that $13 a gigabyte for raw flash has come down to $5 a gigabyte today, with a new 1.9 terabyte all-flash drive that we're shipping in our 3PAR products. So if we take that $5 a gigabyte for that new 1.9 terabyte flash drive, and we add our innovative feature called adaptive sparing that we might talk about later, that brings our price from $5 down to $4 a gigabyte, which is a 20% saving. We then add in the capabilities of our thin deduplication and thin clones, and that brings the effective price per gigabyte from $4 down to $2 a gigabyte for all flash storage, which is roughly equal to the price for high-performance spinning media at the same $2 a gigabyte. So what we have now is we have $2 a gigabyte for flash, $2 a gigabyte for high-performance spinning, and we propose that this become the starting point for all mission-critical, performance-sensitive storage from now into the future. Lead with all flash, start with all flash, and avoid having to make those complex decisions about which workload is suitable, which workload is not suitable for all flash. And the overwhelming capability of our 3PAR 7450 all-flash platform is its capability for massive consolidation of Tier 1 applications onto a platform that can store and manage petabytes of storage and maintain very admirable, very respectable latencies. And I'll just point out here that the Y scale on this chart is not milliseconds as you may be used to seeing, it's microseconds. So we can see here over 500,000 IOPS at less than half a microsecond, 500 milliseconds of latency. So this really enables this massive consolidation and this ability to lead all of your mission-critical applications with an all-flash platform based around the 3PAR 7450. But it doesn't just finish at performance and, wonderful latency. There's no good having a fast application if it's stopped. What's the impact of a high-performance application that's not running because the storage isn't running? It's very high impact, and it's something that doesn't bode us well with our relationships with our managers. So this platform that we have here with the 3PAR, it's not only truly flash optimized, but it's a very mature platform in terms of being able to deliver very high availability and very high resilient data services. We've got a lot of proven capability over the last 10 years with replication solutions and high availability solutions. And what we've just introduced now into this platform is the concept of a guarantee for 6 nines availability. So we will actually guarantee with a 4-node plus 3PAR system that you will achieve 6 nines of data availability on your system, no questions asked. We're also able to offer 5 years of unconditional warranty. That's unconditional failure replacement warranty on the flash media within 3PAR. And this is something that's also very different amongst a lot of the other flash players in the industry, is that they'll actually have warranty exemptions or warranty disclaimers for flash wear out. And that's something that we don't believe is acceptable. So we are able to offer and support a 5-year unconditional warranty on 3PAR flash. So we actually believe with these enhancements and these optimizations in our 3PAR flash storage, the tipping point for mainstream enterprise flash has arrived. With under $2 per gigabyte of usable capacity on all flash storage, with the enterprise scale and resiliency and the enterprise data services that all storage administrators have come to expect, the combination of these two aspects of flash storage will really make the 3PAR platform the first choice and the dominant choice for customers seeking all flash storage for their enterprise mission-critical applications. So with that, we're actually going to redefine what flash traditionally means within the enterprise. So we believe that modern-day flash should obviously be very, very fast. With the 7450 platform, as I've mentioned, we can do close to 1 million IOPS, 900,000 IOPS at less than 0.7 milliseconds. So it's definitely fast. It should be low cost. You should be able to achieve flash storage at a cost very similar, if not equal to, high-performance spinning disk media. And we have that today at approximately $2 a gigabyte. It should be autonomic. It should be able to manage itself. You shouldn't have to micromanage and microplace your data layout. You should be able to provision volumes for your virtualization environment in less than 5 seconds without having to make complex decisions up front. It should be scalable. You should be able to scale to greater than petabytes capacity on flash storage within the single architecture, within the single platform. And lastly, it should be highly available. You should enjoy the same Tier 1 resiliency, Tier 1 high availability features on your all-flash storage with data services like replication, quality of service, and federation without external gateways, external appliances which do nothing else but complicate your storage environment. So with that, we think you should, start where you want to finish and finish where you want to start. Start with HP All Flash. And with that, Pat, I'll hand back over to you and see what questions we've got.
Okay, great. Thanks for your presentation today, Paul. I'd like to take this time to remind everyone that you're participating in today's presentation, Save Your Cache with HP Flash, which is being brought to you by HP and Intel. As Paul said, we're now going to move on to the question and answer portion of today's presentation. I encourage you to enter in your questions by clicking on the Questions tab and click Submit Question. Okay, Paul, looks like our first question for today is going to be, are there particular workloads or use cases that are better suited for or maybe not suited for flash storage?
Right. So traditionally, Pat, we used to say that the workloads suited for all flash were typically your OLTP, your online transaction processing apps. And these apps typically had a very small to medium I/O size of like 8 kilobytes, 16 kilobyte, etc. We used to also say that, applications that had a very large I/O size were not suited to flash. But what we'd actually propose now is that any application that is performance sensitive and where that application's performance, contributes through to customer satisfaction or business efficiency is an application that is well suited to an all-flash storage solution. And it's as simple as that these days.
Okay, great, thanks. And our next question is going to be, what really differentiates and sets you apart in a very busy flash storage market segment?
Right, so the aspects of our 3-PAR flash architecture that really set us apart and differentiate us is the combination of the enterprise-rich data services like replication, high availability, disaster recovery features, snapshots, synchronous, asynchronous replication. It's those enterprise-rich data services with the high availability and resiliency coupled with the flash-optimized efficiency features, which, the new startup flash companies do have. We give them that. They have the efficiency features and the performance, but they don't have the data services that enterprise storage customers have come to expect. So it's the combination of those two that really set us apart in the 3-PAR flash architecture.
Okay, great, thanks. And Paul, our next question today is going to be, the new all-flash startup vendors claim that only they can really offer flash-optimized storage. What do you say to that claim?
Yeah, so what we say is, they can offer the performance, and they can offer some of the efficiency areas like deduplication and compression. That's what the flash startup vendors do very well. But what they cannot offer is the full range of Tier 1 data services, like what I've mentioned, like replication, like snapshots, like copy management. They also can't offer high availability. Most of these startup flash architectures have a very simple dual controller architecture. Many of them are even an active-passive dual controller. They're not even active-active. So they're unable to offer that combination of data services with high availability and resiliency to couple with the performance and the efficiency aspects of a flash-optimized storage system.
Okay, great, thanks. And our next question is, what would the top three innovation areas of the 3-PAR all-flash solution?
Right, okay, great question, that one. We can get into a few of the technical areas here of 3-PAR. So the top one, I would say, is our adaptive sparing. And very quickly, adaptive sparing enables us to offer an additional 20% of flash capacity from the same flash drive as a competitor may offer without any compromise in data integrity or in sparing management. And we're able to offer this adaptive sparing feature because of the 3-PAR wide stripe architecture and the way that we work directly with the flash vendor to share the space that's used for sparing in case of drive failure in a very innovative way. The next area would be our cache subsystem and the way that we manage our read and write sizes to optimize the read and write size for flash storage. Flash storage is quite different to spinning storage, and it has quite a small cell size, which is typically around 4 kilobytes. And if you can optimize the way you talk to the flash drive in those 4 kilobyte chunks, you're able to greatly improve the efficiency and the performance. And then lastly, it would be our quad controller scale-out solution, which is delivered at a mid-range price point. If you look in the storage industry today, you see still the majority of systems that have like a quad controller or 6 or 8 controller scale-out architecture for storage are the very high-end Tier 1 expensive solutions. Well, with 3-PAR, we're able to deliver this quad controller plus scale-out storage system at a mid-range price. So they're the big three areas that really innovate within 3-PAR and set us apart.
Okay, sounds good, Paul. And we have a couple more questions. First question is, looking to the future, what are you expecting trend-wise to happen with storage media?
Yeah, so we're going to see, I suspect, and what I propose is that the spinning media, traditional hard disks, is going to be relegated to an archive grade of storage where we want the data to stay, online or near line, but we want a very, very low cost, 10 sensors, tens of sensors per gigabyte, not dollars per gigabyte. So spin-in storage is going to become that archive-grade storage. Flash storage or solid state is going to absolutely grow and dominate over the coming months and years. And in a couple of years from now, we'll start to see newer solid state technologies start to replace the flash technology as we know them today. Technologies like Memristor or phase change memory will slowly become commercialized and take over from the NAND flash-based storage that we have today.
Okay, great. Thanks, Paul. And our last question for today is going to be, how would you compare the impact that flash storage is having on the industry in comparison with some other big architecture shifts we have seen?
Yeah, so it's absolutely massive, Pat. And I'm a keen photographer. I've always been a very keen photographer for many, many years. And what I see happening in the flash industry today is very similar to what's happened in photography. And for those of us that are into photography, just think back with our old film cameras where we'd have a roll of 35 millimeter or 120 millimeter film in our camera. And think of how that, impacted the way we took photographs and the type of photographs we took and even on our cameras. And now contrast that with digital photography today and the way that digital photography is just absolutely everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's in our smartphones. It's all around our house. It's everywhere we go. So the impact that flash technology or solid-state storage technology is having on our storage industry and the way that we deliver performance is that similar kind of dramatic impact as moving from film-based cameras to digital flash storage within digital photography and digital cameras. It's that big a change and that big an evolution.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for that, Paul. And at this time, I'd like to thank today's speaker, Paul Haverfield, for taking the time to join us today, and also like to thank today's sponsor, HP and Intel, for making this event possible. And as always, thank you for taking the time to join us today. This is Pat Devine wishing everybody a great day.
And thank you very much.